Meiosis and mitosis is the topic that I'm going to be talking about. Steps for meiosis. Part 1. Prophase 1 pairs up homologous chromosomes in rows, or depending how many there are. Crossing over occurs, and exchanges of genes happen. Metaphase 1. In this phase, the chromosomes line up next to each other, up and down. Also, the spindle fibers attach to the centromere and the equator of the cell. Anaphase 1. Spindle fibers then pulls apart the chromosomes from each other to the opposite ends. Telophase 1. Lastly, the nuclear envelope comes back and reforms, as well as the nucleolus makes a comeback and reappears again. Chromosomes also uncoils and cytokinesis happens when the cell splits. Part 2. Prophase 2. Nuclear envelope and nucleolus disappears and chromosomes condenses. Also, the start of this process starts with haploid, aka sister chromatids. Metaphase 2. Spindle fibers attaches to the chromosomes, which are sister chromatids at the center where they are lined up at. Anaphase 2. Then sister chromatids are then pulled apart from the center by the spindle fibers. Telophase 2. Last phase. Chromosomes uncoils, and as said before, the nuclear envelope reforms again after the phases are done, which are prophase, metaphase, anaphase. Meiosis Part 2. This is a picture that relates to this section. Mitosis steps. Prophase, the chromosomes condense, and the nuclear envelope and nucleolus disappears. Metaphase. Chromosomes line up in the middle, individually in one line rather than in two pairs. Anaphase. Here, the sister chromatids do their thing to split up, in the same process unlike meiosis. Telophase. Last phase. Chromosomes relaxes and nuclear envelope and nucleolus reforms after having finished the other three phases. Now, let's compare and contrast. Similarities. Meiosis and mitosis both are involved in cell division and cell cycle through the end phase. Also, they both have the same phases to go through, such as prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. Some differences are that mitosis is asexual reproduction and meiosis is a sexual reproduction. Another thing is the number of gametes meiosis ends up with, which is 4, and mitosis ends up with 2. Law of independent assortment. The traits are inherited separately, and that is because only one trait is passed down, which means if you have blonde hair, doesn't mean you will have green eyes. Law of segregation of alleles. Each gamete receives only one version of a trait, since a parent can only give one of their alleles to pass down, but the way it is chosen is random. Crossing over. It's when homologous chromosomes exchange genes in the prophase and meiosis to have genetic diversity. Genetic diversity is when people or animals are able to adapt fast in an environment cold or hot, or if they are able to be immune or resist a disease, as you can see in these two pictures of each one. Karyotype. This is a set of complete chromosomes, such as a table, where you can see if a person has 2 sets of chromosomes, or is missing as well, as having an extra chromosome also helps to find out if someone has a type of syndrome, such as trisomy 21 and Turner syndrome. Also, because Normally, everybody has at least only 2 out of the whole set of chromosomes we have. Turner syndrome. Turner syndrome is when a female is missing one X chromosome. Since they have 2 sets of X chromosomes, and only females get Turner syndrome. Also, it's more highly to happen to females than to males. Trisomy 21 is also known as Down syndrome. We have seen this a lot. Happens when there's an extra chromosome since normally there are 2. As said before, there's only normally 2 sets of chromosomes. These are examples of how to identify if they have or you have Turner syndrome or Down syndrome. Now, review time. Here are some questions for you to answer. 1. Which syndrome has an extra chromosome and why? Number 2. Which one finishes the process with 4 gametes? Number 3. Which phase pulls apart homologous chromosomes? Number 4. What lets you see the set of chromosomes someone has? Number 5. Haploid and diploid. Which one is mostly in our body? Here are the answers. For number 1, trisomy 21 is the correct answer. And why? Because normally you only have 2 pairs of chromosomes. Number 2, meiosis is the answer. Number 3, anaphase. Number 4, karyotype. Number 5, diploid. I hope you enjoyed this